So today I'm going to talk about the key things that all investors look for. It's high-level requirements that investors look for when companies come to pitch to them for investments. Investors also need to understand your product and your services and how it's been received externally, market validation effectively. Investors also need to hear about risk. They're also looking for companies with global ambitions that can scale globally. By far, the most important thing are the values of the company. You need to talk about the why you decided to pursue this idea, innovation, product, or services. You need to take investors with you in your journey and tell them the story, why you're passionate about this, why you care about this, why now is a good time for your idea, and why investors should care as well. Talk about what problem you're trying to solve here, and also talk about how your idea, your company, your product or services is going to change society or a segment of society. The other thing that is really, really key is external validation. When I talk about external validation, I'm talking about market validation, customers, users. If you've got market feedback or customer feedback, it is really useful for you to be able to show that to investors and explain that to investors. And also in terms of market feedback, if you have a list of prospective customers or customers who are willing to talk to investors about not just your product, but the value of your product to them as customers, that is hugely, hugely valuable. More priceless would be if you are able to actually have paying customers already when you're talking to investors. We also look for scalability in ideas, products, services, and companies. Not only is scalability about the product being able to be sold outside of New Zealand, but when we talk about scalability, we're also looking for founders and teams with global ambition. You need to be able to pitch your product, not just how it actually is placed in the New Zealand market or the local market segment. New Zealand is great because it's a small country and it's great for you to use it as a test market. However, investors are looking for companies that can scale and that will scale. The next thing that is hugely important is people. Investors invest in people. As much as when you're pitching to an investor your product, services, innovation, company, or your idea, and you are trying to convince investors that your company, your product, your idea, your service is worth investing over others, to a large extent, you are also pitching yourself and your team and why you are worth investing above others. Let us now address risks. Risk is not a scary word for early-stage investors. Early-stage investors take risks, but what you need to demonstrate to the investors is that you understand the risk of your business, your idea, your product, or your services, and that you have an ability to actually mitigate that risk with a plan. Again, be open, be transparent. Don't be afraid and don't hide your risks, because investors already have identified it. What they're looking for and what would impress investors is that you have thought about the risk and you have got a plan to overcome those risks and address those risks.